Well, we've reached the halfway point of the Premier League season, and what a season it's been. Harry Kane has turned into the best playmaker Spurs have ever had. Arsenal seem a shell of their former shell, and Chelsea's £200 million summer has proven to be nothing more than a very expensive plane ticket. It's a season like no other, with COVID-19 disrupting game weeks and causing fantasy football players to rage, especially when your triple captain Salah goes down with a virus moments before kickoff. With the top 10 seemingly changing every game week, the league is far from over, and with teams like Everton, Aston Villa, Southampton and Leicester all in the mix for Champions League qualifications, the top 6 could have some new members come the end of the season. In this video, I'm going to give you a tactical breakdown of how each team has been performing so far, along with my predictions on where each team will finish the current season. And for an added bonus, stick around to the end to hear my personal stars and flops of the current season. So never before has it been more idiotic to try and predict where each team will finish the current season. However, let's give it a go, and let's start by looking at the relegation zone. Sheffield United went into the new season on the back of a very impressive 9th place finish last year. Until the COVID break, they were outside favourites for a place in European football. However, things are not looking up for Chris Wilder and his players, with only one win in their first 19 games. Their overlapping centre-backs caused a lot of issues for teams last season, and the solidity of Henderson in goal and O'Connell at the back made up for their rather lacklustre attacking muck duo. However, the injury to O'Connell and Henderson being recalled from his loan has led to the downfall of the Blades. While I believe their form will pick up in the second half, I think they dug themselves too big a hole and will finish the league in last place. When Fulham was first promoted back into the Premier League with Djukanovic, they came out of the Championship with a narrative of free-flowing and beautiful football. And like many other teams that had that work for them in the Championship, they quickly found out the Premier League doesn't play that game with newly promoted clubs. The charismatic Scott Parker has struggled to get his side ticking, and is yet to settle on his preferred starting lineup, shifting constantly between a 4-2-3-1 and a 3-4-2-1. When on the attack, they have seemed threatening from out wide, providing decent crosses into the box. However, their lone striker Mitrovic is proving unreliable. For this reason, I think Fulham will struggle to move up the table and will finish in 19th place. After a decent start to the season, Newcastle are now winless in their last 9 matches, and Steve Bruce's tactics have come under fire. With their very defensive 4-4-2, their only tactics seem to be long balls to Carroll, and are giving possession away cheaply. Joelinton and Almiron are being forced out wide, but their delivery into the box leaves a lot to be desired. Their star player so far has been Callum Wilson, but with little support around him there's only so much he can do. With plans of a financial takeover falling through, things seem to be going from bad to worse for Newcastle, and we'll see them slip into the relegation zone and finish in 18th. A draw against Manchester City was not enough to save Slaven Bilic from becoming the first sacking of the season, and thus Sam Allardyce has been called in to do what he does best and save West Brom from relegation. He's already started to work his magic, holding Liverpool to a draw at Anfield and beating Wolves 3-2. However, Big Sam will have a lot of work to do, with West Brom currently averaging the lowest amount of shots per game and with the worst goal difference in the league. Nonetheless, the great escape is on, and I think West Brom will be able to stay in the Premier League. So far, Brighton this season have been very much style without substance, with rather impressive possession stats but little attacking threat. They've been toying with the relegation zone for the whole first half of the season, and there are calls from the South Coast for Graham Potter to relinquish his position. However, they do have the best scoring record in the bottom 8, and the Seagulls' preferred 3-4-2-1 has been favourable for Maupay, scoring 7 goals so far this campaign. Connolly's impressive hold-up play allows Trossard and Maupay to get in behind, such as their very nicely worked goal against Leeds United. I think for this reason, Brighton have just enough quality in their lineup to see them home, and will finish the season in 16th. Whilst Burnley were able to retain key assets such as James Tarkowski over the summer, Sean Dyche's men have a pretty miserable start to the season, with only 9 goals scored in their opening 19 matches. However, they seem to have had a decent spell over Christmas, picking up 2 wins in their previous 5 matches. And with 2 games in hand on the teams around them, Burnley could still be in the Premier League at the start of next season. Burnley's classic 4-4-2 has caused some issues as of late, beating Liverpool 1-0 with a late penalty thanks to an impressive defensive display. For this reason, I predict Burnley to have a strong second half of the season and finish in 15th. So based on their current form and previous results, I have Sheffield, Fulham and Newcastle as the 3 teams going back down to the Championship, with West Brom, Burnley and Brighton all being safe from relegation. Moving on, let's take a look at 14th to 7th place. Leeds have arguably been the most exciting team to watch this season. Their fast attacking football has all the neutrals rooting for them, simply because viewers have no idea what to expect. Their attacking numbers are up there with the top 6, and their defensive numbers are in there with the relegation zone. It's a team that many big teams fear, and Bielsa's 4-1-4-1 uses the entire width of the pitch to stretch the opposition and deliver balls into the clinical finisher Patrick Bamford. However, these tactics seem to be too offensive at times, and Leeds themselves are often too exposed at the back. Although I think they will still be the most exciting team to watch this season, I think the results will continue to fall out of favour for Bielsa's men, and will finish the league in 14th. An ageing squad has received some welcome refreshment with Eze and Mitchell, but the looming question on everyone's mind is how they will replace Wilfried Zaha should he finally secure his move away from Selhurst Park. The Eagles have soared at various stages this season, recording unlikely victory at Old Trafford and big thrashings of Leeds. However, they have also been on the receiving end of drubbings at the hands of Chelsea, Liverpool and more recently a 10-man Aston Villa. On their day, Hodgson's men can challenge pretty much anyone. However, with their day only coming around once a month, a finish in the bottom half of the table looks almost inevitable. Wolves seem to have quite a successful transfer window, with the Portuguese Fabian Silva being recruited from Porto. However, the loss of Diogo Jota to Liverpool seems to have been more detrimental than what was first thought. A fractured skull injury to Raul Jimenez will test Wolves' squad depth, and repeating their impressive 7th place finish from last term seems already out of the question. With no wins in their last 6 games, they are still yet to get going, and I believe will continue to struggle in the second half. However, I do see teams around them having a more difficult time, and so believe they will finish the league in 12th place. West Ham is currently on an impressive run of form, which has seen them leapfrog the table into Europa League contention. Quite ironically, one of the best spells this season came when David Moyes was forced to self-isolate. The 4-2-3-1 system utilised in the majority of fixtures has allowed the team to gel in a way that suits their style of play. With recent acquisitions such as Bowen, Soucek and Kufau adding to an already capable team, West Ham could be building something for the future. However, their performances have been inconsistent, and while we've seen flashes of what they are capable of, the second half of the season will likely see them slip out of the top 10. Fans would argue that Aston Villa had the best transfer window this season, given the big impact that each of their signings have had. They are far exceeding everyone's expectations and made everyone happy when they thrashed Liverpool 7-2. Jack Grealish has proven why there is so much hype around him, and their defence has been impeccable, currently with the second best defence in the league behind Manchester City. Their season has been halted and postponed constantly due to the virus, and they have as much as 4 games in hand over the teams above them. Having said that, the top 10 this season seems to be the most competitive ever, and I don't see them moving up past 10th. Hasenhüttl's style is definitely easy on the eye, and the Saints' free-flowing football has seen Southampton far exceeding their expectations from the start of the season. Despite losing their captain Højbjerg over the summer, Romeo has proven to be defensive rock in midfield, allowing new captain Ward-Prowse to create dangerous chances on the attack. The Saints' 4-2-2-2 formation will try and exploit the half spaces, and the fullbacks will typically be the ones providing width. When off the ball, their aggressive offensive press allows them to box teams in and keep a high number of players up top. Although their performances have been impressive so far, my main concern is if they're able to keep this up in the second half of the campaign, and I think will finish the season in 9th. Arsenal went into this season with their usual optimism, that this would finally be the season where things started to click. Some decent signings in Partey and Magalhaes promised to shore up their defence, and their star striker Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang signing a new contract seemed like the stars were finally lining up. And then the season began. The Arsenal team has looked like a team without a plan, going on a 7-game winless streak, and their usually outperforming striker is yet to find his form in the current campaign. While Arteta's 4-2-3-1 can look promising at times, with the holding mids ensuring the fullbacks can bomb forward to create width, the final third has been an issue, with the Gunners netting the least amount of goals than any team currently in the top 12. There is quality in that squad, and while I do believe Arteta's tactics will come good for Arsenal one day, that day is not today, and I think Arsenal will narrowly miss out on European football, finishing the season in 8th place. If you want to know more about Everton, then check out my video where I break down their playstyle. Since the appointment of Carlo Ancelotti, Everton have been flying high in the Premier League. Their active transfer window saw the likes of Allen, Doucouré and maybe the value signing of the summer with James Rodriguez all having a substantial impact on the Merseyside team. Calvert-Lewin has also been phenomenal so far this season, and with the least amount of touches in the team, it's a testament to how clinical he's been in front of goal. While they may not be able to challenge their local arch rivals just yet, they're certainly looking higher up the table than usual. However, the quality of the teams currently above them may be a little too much, and will narrowly miss out on Europa League in 7th place. While I think that there will be some shake-ups between 14th and 7th, I don't see any of these teams slipping any lower or challenging for the top spot. Moving on, let's take a look at my predicted top 6. Until around the start of December, Chelsea looked unstoppable. They were playing some beautiful football, and the new signings in Ziyech, Chilwell, Silva and Mendy helped Chelsea reach the top of the table, and were starting to be considered as serious title contenders. However, since then, they've been on an abysmal run of form, winning only 2 games in their last 8. Fans and neutrals are wondering if Werner and Havertz ever got off the plane from Germany, and if Frank Lampard has bitten off a little bit more than he can chew. His tactics have come under fire as of late, with their recent performance against Leicester being laughable at times, with no movement and no desire to play the ball forward. At this stage of the season, most teams have settled on their preferred starting 11. However, Lampard still seems unsure who to play, and the team lines up with different players every week. It's a problem that many teams would wish to have, but Chelsea's squad seems to be too big, and the Blues should probably aim to do some trimming in the January transfer window. I think Chelsea will return to more convincing form, however it may be too little too late, and will miss out on Champions League qualifications, finishing in 6th place. The signing of Gareth Bale over the summer sent Spurs fans reminiscing of the days where his pace would terrorise defenders. However, it turns out they didn't even need him, and has barely even featured in the first half of their campaign. It was the more discreet signings of Højbjerg and Reguilon that have proven to be more impressive for Spurs this season. However, the story of Tottenham's season so far is the sensational partnership between Kane and Son, who have struck gold with their chemistry. Kane dropping deep into the midfield and on multiple occasions finding Son on the overlap and playing him through. It's a partnership that works both ways, and the pair have a total of 24 goals and 17 assists between them. Mourinho will definitely be pleased with his team's performance so far, and will definitely be in the race for top 4 come the end of the season. Will he manage though? I don't think so. And if the partnership between Kane and Son dries up, then they may face some roadblocks along the way, and I think we'll finish the season in 5th place. The Foxes are once again exceeding expectations, and their fast attacking football has proven successful so far. Leicester are a team that epitomised the confidence and fearlessness that led them to the title 5 years ago. Castan seems to be a ready-made replacement for Chilwell, and Fofana has added energy in the back line. Up top, Maddison is once again showing his danger from the edge of the box, and Vardy's pace and determination has put Leicester well in for a chance of Champions League football. And this might be the year for them, and I have them as 4th place finishers come the end of the season. Liverpool have been plagued with injuries since the start of the season, not least arguably one of the best centre-halves on the planet, Virgil van Dijk, who is expected to be out for the remainder of the season. However, the signings of Jota from Wolves and Champions League winner Thiago Alcantara from Bayern Munich seem to have bolstered their already impressive attack, and the Egyptian Salah has been as impressive as ever, currently top scorer in the league. Having said that, a recent winless streak has seen them drop down to 4th, and the creative excuses used by Klopp seem to be running out. Liverpool are almost certainly going to be in the title race in a few months, but without the defensive stability they usually rely on, they may fall just short in 3rd place. From their 6-1 loss to Spurs at the start of the season, Man United have been on fantastic form, which has led them to a rather unexpected title challenge at the midway stage. Bruno Fernandes has looked incredible, and with 18 goal contributions so far, he's given a dynamic edge that United have lacked since the departure of Alex Ferguson. The return of Pogba has also been beneficial for the Red Devils, and having 2 creative mids has caused problems for the opposing defenders. The main threat coming from United this season has been their counterattacks, and the pace of Rashford, Martial and Greenwood is often too much to handle for the opposition. However, the Red Devils have been lucky at times, and some questionable decisions have gone their way, and if their luck is to dry out in the second half, then they might struggle to keep pace with their rivals. But for now, Ole is firmly at the wheel, and if Man United can keep this form up, I think they will finish the league in 2nd place. After a shaky start to the season, Manchester City are fully back on track, And with the best defensive record in the league, the re-emerging form of John Stones is one of the surprises of the season. The partnership with Diaz seems to have taken the pressure off City's defensive issues, and the stability of Rodrigo and Gundogan allowed De Bruyne to do what he does best. Phil Foden is also starting to become the player Guardiola warned us about, and has become regular in what is arguably one of the hardest teams to break into. With Liverpool struggling for form and Manchester City looking unstoppable, I think the Premier League title will go to Pep Guardiola. And there you have it. It's been an incredibly exciting and dramatic first half of the season, and chances are the second half will be just as exciting. And now for my personal stars and flops of the season so far. Firstly, my flop of the year goes to Chelsea's most expensive signing of all time, Kai Havertz. The Blues dished out a whopping 80 million for the German wonderkid, and so far his performances have been underwhelming, with a lack of energy and creativity that set him apart in the Bundesliga. There is still a lot to play for this season, and at only 21 years old, he has a lot of time to prove the critics wrong. But for now, he hasn't done anything to justify the price tag. Moving swiftly on to my current star of the season, this was a slightly more challenging decision, with Kane, Son, Calvert-Lewin and Diaz all being fantastic for their team. However, my award goes to Bruno Fernandes. Man United look like a completely new team this season, and I believe this is largely due to the dynamism that Bruno Fernandes brings to the team. What do you think the table will look like come the end of the season? Leave your thoughts down below along with your respective stars and flops of the season so far. Thanks for watching.